El Obey, Annobon, and Corisco formed a Spanish colony in Africa, which include the islands of El Obey Grande, El Obey Chico, and Corisco, located in the Bay of Corisco, and that of Annobon to the south of Sao Tome and Prince. This was like the Spanish protectorate since 1843, 1843 and colony since 93, 903. Yeah. Annobon was discovered by the Portuguese in January 1 in 472, hence the name Annobon of Annobon. Yeah. It was seized to Spain together with Fernando Polo through the Treaty of El Pardo, in exchange for some territories in southern Brazil. The effective domination of the Spanish in these islands dates from 1777. It depended on the governor generally based in Santa Isabel, who had led lieutenants in Annobon and El Obey Chico. All of Spain's colonial possessions in Guinea were administratively reunified in 926 to form Spanish Guinea until it became independent in 1968 as Equatorial Guinea.
Okay, now I'm going to talk about the independence of Morocco. This begins in the 20th century, specifically in 1950, when Spain and France signed the Treaty of Fez. During and that consists in that Spain and France have all the territory of Morocco from himself. Spain with the north part of Morocco and Spain with the south part of Morocco. Later in 1920 until 1926, the leader of Rif, that was territory of Spain in that moment, make a revolution for the independence of this country. The name of that leader is Ab el Krim, and that gave the victory for this country and the other countries that in that moment uh, are in the power over Spain. Um, they make the same have their independence, specifically Morocco, that in 1956 has their independence because Spain gives up by the massive loss of territory. Today, Spain and Morocco have normal relationships, specifically for the natural resources. Spain comes here principally for the expansion of territory, natural resources, and political influence.
Okay, so another territory was Ifni that was obtained by Spain in the Treaty of Watras in the 1860. In 1934, beginning of the Spanish occupation, in 1946 occurred the reorganization as Spanish West Africa. In 1957 to 1958 occurred the Evening War and was partial Spanish territorial loss. In 1958, recognized as Evening province, and in 1969, thanks to the Treaty of Fez, this territory transferred to Morocco. Another territory was the province of Fernando Po. This territory belonged to Portugal. Then it was ceded to Spain after the Treaty of San Ildefonso. In 1956, the Spanish territories of the Gulf of Guinea become a Spanish province. On December 50 of 1963, the referendum in Guinea on the autonomy project was approved, by which Spanish Guinea was renamed Equatorial Guinea, and after which, by decree of July 3 of 1964, autonomy was granted to the province. So this province in these moments is of the Equatorial Guinea.
Okay, and now I'm going to talk about the Islamuni colonization and independence. So, first we need to know that this is very related to Guinea Equatorial because, like, these places were part of Guinea Equatorial, yes. So, how they colonization like this place that is Rio Muni. They first like only talk to the people, to the social leaders, and they said to give the place. Obviously, in some parts they need to use some violence. First, this independence need to have a lot of movements. One of those movements was the African liberation, no African liberalism, sorry, and this like start in 1950. Yes. Now we need to go to 1968. That was the year of the independence, and this occurred by a movement called a National Movement of Liberation of Guinea Equatorial. So, but what happened with Rio Muni? This place is like not an independence place, it's only like part of Guinea Equatorial, yes. Obviously, this like have a lot of tries to be independent, but it's part of Guinea Equatorial. So now continue with the place Rio de Oro. This place was like some place like near to Marruecos that this was colonized by Spain, yes. But what is the colonization is like the same. They only need to talk to social leaders and colonize this place. Obviously, with the same thing that is use violence in some places. But what happened? So, in independence, they like only have a movement that is called Liberation Movement of Sagura. That is like well one of the movements that they do. But we need to talk about a special movement that is called the Madrid Trade. This occurred in 1975. What this tells us is that this place, Isla Oro, that was liberated with Marruecos, but was given to Marruecos, yes. So they have this territory. It's the same with Guinea Equatorial. Now they have this territory. Obviously, in the present day, like try to independence, but it's something like very difficult. So that's all.